Hey everyone, Camfrey15 back with another video. And today's video is a movie review of the newest movie that came out today, The Lion King. The Lion King, are really the live action adaptation of The Lion King. So, here we go with another Disney remake. Now, some quick background. I haven't cared to see any of the other Disney live action remakes because one, I never cared for them, and two, none of the ones that came out I was particularly interested to see. And you know, I'm going to explain why I think animated properties just don't do well sometimes in live action. And if we go look at it, Sonic's one of the biggest representations. You all know my friend Denzel, Dencario. I always tell him all the time, like, some things are just better if they're just stayed animated for a reason. And particularly, I'm not of the fan of live action things done if they're done right from what they're shown like in the trailer. The only live action thing that I really have enjoyed watching was Detective Pikachu. And you guys, if you've seen that video, know what I said about that stuff. And if you haven't, you can check out my channel. I do all sorts of different reviews in the last couple of months since I recently started this channel. But in my Detective Pikachu review, I liked it because, you know, it made it feel in this world, in the world of Pokemon, and I don't know, it just had its own thing. Now we get to the Disney remakes. The Disney remakes, each and every one of them, from what I've heard, is some of them, in some people's eyes, they're good, and other people, they're not as good. And I've watched some reviews about The Lion King after seeing the movie, and now I'm going to give my thoughts on this. So basically, let's just go through the overview of the film. Let me just tell you how I'm going to break down this video. There's not going to be a spoiler discussion because, look, most of you people who are watching this video had already seen The Lion King. If you have not, I'm shocked that you have, unless you're like a very, very little kid. But, yeah. So, for this, I'm going to make this movie review different because people should already have seen The Lion King before. Whether you've seen this new adaptation or the original animated one, yeah, you should have seen it by now. So I'm not going to do spoilers because the story's pretty obvious and stuff like that. So I'm just going to break this video down, this review down, of really things I liked and things I did not like. And then I'm going to give my final really thoughts about the film. And I guess in the final thoughts I can talk about my opinion on the Disney remakes as a whole. Or the Disney live action remakes as a whole. So, Lion King 2019. I was shocked that they are now we're making a live action film of this movie. When I first saw the teaser trailer, I was like, I don't know if they should do this. Now, I'm just gonna get into the whole casting and stuff. So, Donald Glover plays Simba, Beyonce plays Nala, Seth Rogen stars as Pumbaa, Chitowell Ejiofor. He voices Scar. Um, not J- um, not Jeremy Irons, and I'll get into that when I get into the main stuff about stuff. And John Oliver plays Zazu, and Billy Eckner plays Timon. And then really, James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mufasa in the film. So that was a good casting and stuff like that. Um, so basically, if you don't know the story of the Lion King, I'm just gonna quickly rephrase it over. So basically, the Lion King revolves around this little lion cub called Simba, who basically has to realize that he's gonna have to be responsible for a kingdom on his own once his father passes away. Events trigger where he disobeys his father's orders, which, and then, in the scene, while Scar, who feels really betrayed that, basically the fact that he's not the next Lion King, he tries to do his best by getting rid of Mufasa and Simba by basically making sure that Mufasa dies and thinking that Simba dies due to his hyena friends. He basically takes the part of King of Pride Rock, while Simba goes on a basically a conflicted journey of what he should do next until it makes him result going back to Pride Rock to take the throne away from Scar. So in this thing, it's basically a responsibility coming of age film for the main character Simba. Um, but before I get into positive and negatives, when I watched this film as a kid, I don't really remember watching this film as a kid, but now when you always watched it here and there back a few years back, even I still have a vivid memory of what The Lion King is, and I haven't seen the animated film in years. I think like 2 or 3 years. So, my thoughts on the animated film. I love the animated film to death. It's another great Disney animated film that really had a lot of heart and emotion in it. And, it really hits you there in the feels and stuff like that. And it was a really good movie. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time that I've ever watched. And if I'm talking about Disney, it's up there with one of my favorite Disney movies. It's in my top 10 of favorite Disney movies I've seen in my life. So, yeah, so basically when the movie was announced, I was like, okay, well, I don't know how this is gonna go. I was glad to hear that James Earl Jones did reprise his role as Mufasa because I think if he didn't reprise his role as Mufasa, I don't know if as many people would have seen it go out to go see it as many people might go out to go see it because he literally is Mufasa, and if they mess that up, I don't know if this movie might have probably would have taken a huge hit. Now I'm gonna get into the Jeremy Irons stuff when I get to Scar. Um, hate to say it, that's a little quick early negative, but I'm gonna get into now the things I liked about the film. The things I liked about the film is it looks very stunningly beautiful. The From the lush green fields to what the elephant graveyard looks like to what the lush jungles where Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa live in to basically whatever you see, even the animals look really good in this. And, it's really stunning to look at. This is one of the more beautiful films I can remember seeing in, well, not a long time, but, really nowadays we're in this day and age where technology makes things look that beautiful, and it's very lush, and it has some color to it. It was very good to look at from the standpoint of seeing all these landmarks and stuff, and looking at the jungles and basically African, how do they call it? Safaris. I guess Safari Zone or whatever in a case. But it was good to look at. The monuments of the biggest parts of the movie look exactly identical to as as the basically the animated film. The only thing that really doesn't look from what the animated film looks like from Landmarks is probably the elephant graveyard, because when they first look at the elephant graveyard, it looks doesn't have the elephant, um, the elephant, the bones where it has tusk and then the face of the elephant and stuff like that. Um, so my next positive, I'll have to give it up to the voice actors. They did a really, really good job of what they were given. I liked all the voices. I did not have any problems. Now I watch other reviews where, especially when people were talking about Beyonce's role as Nala, they feel like they just want to fill her and nobody cared. She's a nobody character and stuff like that, and they just didn't like her voice as Nala. But in all honesty, I wasn't really phased by it. It didn't bother me. It was good to hear these voices and stuff like that. And some of the voices, even like Kid Simba, there was some lines where it actually sounded like Simba from the animated film when he was a kid. Now, I don't know if that was the original Simba voice actor. If that wasn't, then yeah. He did a good job as Kid Simba as well. James Earl Jones reprised his role as Mufasa, and I thought he did a phenomenal job you know, as if it was right out of the animated film. And I could remember it's the same Mufasa, like literally out of the animated film and stuff like that. So, really, from that standpoint, that's all I have left. Well, I guess to an extent, I liked another positive, and probably my last one is I did like the Timon and Pumbaa thing. They got that right, and I'll say that's a good thing that they got their whole little chemistry down together, and it was good to see them because I laughed a few times in this film, and it was mostly because Timon and Pumbaa. Okay, so I got the positives out the way. Now, the one thing, if you've been watching reviews all over YouTube, you've been seeing that people have actually been critiquing this film more than like it. And I was watching this one reviewer stated like there's so many good things you can like about this film, but at the same time, there's so many things you can say that's a problem and stuff like that. Um, so I'm gonna get into the negatives. I don't have a full list, but I have a few negatives or nitpicks, if you want to say. And if this nitpick or problem, it's probably been the biggest thing that's been referenced throughout all the reviews you can see, and it's probably the most brought up topic or the first thing that all reviewers on the YouTube community has been saying, and that is the emotionless faces of the animals. Now they say the lion. Now people say the lions, but I'm just gonna go in general and say the animals as a whole. There really is no emotion coming out of any of the animals whatsoever. And I'm gonna get into this point. When I was talking to my little sister after the film, I was telling her like there really was no emotion in the film coming from the animals, and my sister was like, "Well, yeah, there was. You can tell by how the animals are reacting to certain things." I'm like, maybe in your case you can see that, but in my case, no. And my sister's basically a 13-year-old girl. It's not going to bother her. She doesn't look into too much things like that. Me, in my case, as a 20-year-old, okay, look, I look a little bit into that stuff. And the animals just showed no emotion. And I guess that's one of the detracting elements from this film. And it's been like that since the clips come out where people have been saying, this film has no emotion whatsoever. Case in point, the Mufasa death scene, or not the Mufasa death scene, when Simba realizes that his Mufasa's dead. There's next to no facial emotion expression like they did in the original one. The original one, Simba was crying. He was emotional about it. You could tell and you could feel for it. In the 2019 version, you can't get behind Simba and feel for his death. Yes, it's still a sad scene, but the fact that there's no facial expression to make it, like, make touch your heart and pull the strings. And it made me feel like, when I think about it, the voice actor of Kid Simba is basically saying a very emotional line, pretending like he's crying, but the lion is not crying. And that's what I was trying to tell my sister that she didn't understand. But that's what I'm saying. You have, and this was the problem with some of these emotional lines they tried to do in the film. You would have basically a straight faced lion or a straight faced animal saying this emotional line. And the voice actors coming across like they're crying in the film. You can hear in their voice like they're trying to, like, come off like a crying type of voice. That's what Simba did in the death scene. But you don't see the tears. No, you don't see the look of sadness in the lion's face. It's just straight up motionless, like that. And I think that's a huge detractor, because what made The Lion King so good was the emotions, and what the reactions to some things the lions or the other animals reacted to. And there's just, some things that it just didn't do right. And that's one of, if not my biggest negative of the film, that there was no emotion when it came to scenes like that. Now, when it looked like the lions were intense and they were upset, it looked like that, especially after they roared and stuff like that. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. I think that's just a step down. And I've been recently, in all these recent reviews, it's funny because some people are saying, well, in the Chronicles of Narnia, they made Aslan look more have more emotions in that film. I haven't seen Chronicles of Narnia in a long time. So, yeah, they're saying something that came out that long ago where that lion can have expressions then. Why couldn't they do it here? Even if it was a little bit. Now, you can say otherwise, you're just nitpicking, but to be honest, you can't disagree with that fact. There was no emotion. And I hate to say it, but when Kitson was realizing that his father's dead and stuff, and the voice actor saying the lines and basically trying to portray a crying lion, it kind of came off as cringy to me. I don't know if it's just me, but it came off as cringy. And it's like, I'm just not liking it. I said about Scar, but the new voice actor, and I said that sadly Jeremy Irons didn't reprise his role as Scar. I hate to say this, but the Scar casting is a negative, and a huge negative at fact too. It's probably close up to the emotionless thing. The fact that this team behind Jon Favreau and his team behind this movie, they couldn't get Jeremy Irons, or let me say that all over. The fact that Jon Favreau and his team could get James Earl Jones to reprise his role as Mufasa, but they couldn't get Jeremy Irons to reprise his role as Scar. I'm sorry, that's a huge disservice. Nothing wrong with the actor that plays Scar in this film. I thought he did good at what he was doing. But if you've seen The Lion King, you can agree that Jeremy Irons, there's something about him, how he made the voice so sinister to make it known that Scar is an actual bad guy. This dude who's playing him, voice acting like as if he's just, whatever, you see, I'm just gonna come across as evil as much as I can be. And I just don't think that works. And I think Scar is another voice actor that didn't need to be replaced. Now, everyone else could have been replaced as new voice actors and try to sound it to the best of their ability what the original did. But I just don't know why they didn't get Jeremy Irons as Scar back, because he was a big part of The Lion King. And the fact that he didn't get to be able to have a chance to reprise his role, I'm just shocked, because I think Scar would have been done way better if he had voiced him in this live action adaptation. And, you know, it's one of those characters when you make a live action adaptation of a very iconic film and you want to bring back some voice actor from that, you have to bring back the most iconic characters. Mufasa's James Earl Jones. You can't see anybody else playing Mufasa's character. You just respectfully know it should be James Earl Jones. Jeremy Irons fits in the same boat with Scar. I can only hear him see that and stuff like that. See him as Scar, and that's it, really. And that's another negative. I hate to say it. Um, I guess another negative is it's just not. There's just a few other things. The hyenas, Ed's not in the film. They just have in hyenas in this movie are like a group, a pack. They're not the three team Shenzi, Ed, and I forgot the other guy. Well, besides the point. But they weren't a three pack. They actually have a gang of hyenas. And yes, that did happen in the movies where there were a gang in the old original old movie where there was a gang of hyenas. But for the first couple of scenes in the film, you only saw the three main ones, and they changed the hyenas so much. They made it like Senji was basically the leader of all the hyenas, and I was like, that's different. And I know they're trying to change things up for a bit, and change is good. But sometimes you gotta always be faithful to the same logic. Or to the source material. That's why I like Detective Pikachu so much. It stayed faithful to the source material. Maybe I would have liked this a little tiny bit more if they kept things a little bit the same. They pulled some things out. Stuff like that. This might be more of a nitpick than a negative, but I guess in these last two cases, you can call these more nitpicks. One of the things, all the songs in the movie are exactly ripped out of the original. They're sound not exactly, but they have a little bit of a different beat to the song. But it's the same Lion King songs you've heard, like I Can't Wait to Be King and Hakuna Matata, stuff like that. My only one problem with any of the songs was Be Prepared was To Be Prepared, which was sung by Scar and the other hyenas. If you've seen the movie, I don't know if it's me and you, like I said, you can call this a nitpick of mine, but To Be Prepared is such a shorter song in this film. Now maybe it's because they saw things they had to take out, like the marching hyenas, and I've been hearing from other reviews that's like something compared to the Nazis, basically. And you can't do things like that today. But you could have just had like the hyenas just looking up at Scar from the mountaintop he was at, and stuff like that. And I don't know, the song just felt so much more shorter than the original one. And this one is not as captivating as the one in the original one. I'm just sorry. It's shorter, and for the longest time, when I was listening to it, I really couldn't pick up on the beat. Like, it feels like they changed the beat of the song completely, and I don't know. Like I said, you can call me nitpicking, but I just did not like that at all. I really did not. Um, I don't know. I feel like To Be Prepared, it was such a shorter song. And it's one of the more iconic songs in Disney history, really. And I'm like, they really shortened this song. And then I'm sorry, the actor that plays Scar, he doesn't have the same powerful voice as Jeremy Irons. So it, I guess, downgrades the song a little bit. Now, my last little negative slash nitpick, if you want to name it, is they took out the scene where Nala basically explains to Timon and Pumbaa that Simba's a king, or he's supposed to be the rightful king. They literally took that out. So they basically went onto the scene where basically after Simba realizes he has to go back to Pride Walk to take his place as king, they basically just do the whole montage of him running. He catches up to Nala, and you know they get to the desolated Pride Rock area. Timon and Pumbaa show up, and they're like, "Right, Your Majesty, let's do this thing." And I'm like, "Wait, how would you know he is king?" They totally cut that line out where Nala tells Timon and Pumbaa that he is of royal blood. He's a king, and like I said, you can call me nitpicking. I did not like they took that scene out. Now they would have made the movie longer, yes, but I think that key is vital for Timon and Pumbaa to understand. Like, okay, Simba is basically a ruler. He's a king. He oversees all of the Pride Rock area, and they totally took that scene out. And that's just really it of what I have to say with The Lion King. Now, when I get into my final thoughts, if you're gonna ask me, what do you think, or if you're gonna ask me, should I see this film? In my opinion, you're just doing yourself a better service if you just stay at home and just put on the original, whether the original DVD, the original Lion King in a DVD player, and you just watch it from your house. Because one, you save money, and two, you're not missing much. And three, the original one is the better version than the 2019 live action adaptation. People who say they like this film, excuse me, who like this film a lot, are the people who've probably never seen The Lion King, which I'd be shocked to do it. And like I said, when I go into my rating, I'll give more reasons to why and stuff like that. And if you haven't seen this movie, you'll like this movie. You'll love this movie a lot. You haven't seen it. But to people who have seen this film, you really can't get behind it. And this one dude said it right. After I saw the film, I came with this film slightly disappointed. The movie is stunning to look at and it's very good visually. But when you just look at all the themes and the critiques you can have of this film, you can walk out of a theater, or even when it comes to DVD, if you're waiting for it, you can just be like, I'm kind of disappointed that this didn't live up to the hype of the original. And to be honest, it didn't. And when I knew it was coming out, I knew it never would. Because Disney keeps coming out with these live action remakes. And they just don't stop doing it. And I now, after seeing The Lion King 2019 live action adaptation, Disney live action movies are just now pure cash grabs. They are just pure cash grabs. And I hate to say it, but it's true. They're pure cash grabs at this point in time. And next year, we're getting Mulan. So they're not stopping. Heck, the last Disney live action movie before Lion King, Dumbo, I haven't even seen that because I'm not really a fan of Dumbo. I've heard that movie is terrible. If not the worst live action Disney remake to date. And if people are saying that, this is just pure cash grab. Because Disney knows this. And I was talking to one of my friends. Disney is smart from a marketing standpoint. They're going to keep producing these films because, one, they know that for two reasons. They know they're going to make money off it. The second reason, they know for nostalgia reasons. Nostalgia perfect reasons. You've seen this movie animated. You've seen this property animated. Why not go check it out live action? And I guess there's a third extent to it, and I guess that is Disney knowing that, you know, parents are going to go take their kids to see this movie because it's Disney. Because they know parents are going to be like, hey, The parents seen these movies when they were either at a young enough age, or when they say, like, they took maybe their firstborn kid to see this movie in theaters years ago. And now they're gonna take either their grandchildren or maybe a children they recently, or who's young of the younger age that hasn't seen the movie. They'll go take him, spend their hard-earned money, and basically throw their stuff away. And when I was in my theater, there was people cheering and clapping and stuff like that. Even at the end of the movie, people were clapping and stuff like that. I was like, in my opinion, I don't see how you can clap at the end of a film for this. This was literally an average to below average film at best. Average is just me being generous. Personally, it's a below average film in my opinion. And to go into my ratings, if you're watching this for the first time, you've never seen the original animated film, you may rank this as an 8 or 9, heck, maybe even a 10 out of 10. But if you have seen this, and this is my opinion may not be yours, but this is my opinion. My rating of this movie, of The Lion King 2019, is a 5 out of 10. But that's me being generous, which means that's average. Now, if I'm being harsh on it, I'm going to put it a step down. So 4. So, all in all, I'm probably, my final rating is going to be 4.5 out of 10. There were some things this movie did really good, but the negatives, in an aspect, kind of far outshadow some of the good. And it's just another Disney live action remake that just leaves me disappointed. And also leaves me not surprised that they're not as good as their animated adaptations. And I've been clamoring for Disney to stop making live action remakes of previous animated copies of their famously known films. But they're not gonna stop because you know what? I just stated it. They're gonna know. Parents are gonna go take their kids to see this film. Because one, it might be the one only child film out at the time. And two, they know they want to go for nostalgia purposes. Instead of people just, not wasting their hard-earned money to go see these films. And I'm not saying that you should not waste your money. If you want to go see a film, to go see a movie, even if it is a bad movie, that's all power to you. You can blow your money on whatever you want. I'm not telling you to do what you want with your money. It's your money. You have all the right to go do whatever you want with your money. I'm just saying, if you just take a step back and think, Disney's just doing this for reasons and stuff like that. And they also know people are going to go buy it on DVD because it's The Lion King. I have the original on DVD. I'm going to go get me the live action one on DVD. I don't see myself ever going back to movie theaters to see it again, nor getting this movie on DVD. Now it looks good visually. It'll probably come to Netflix soon, or Hulu, or whatever other those streaming services. But I would not watch this film again. I don't think I'd probably pick up this film, buy it from like a Walmart or something, and watch it again. I'd rather just stay at home, pull up my little movie case that I got behind my laptop screen, find Lion King, put it into my Xbox One, and just watch it from there. And you know what? I'll get more enjoyment watching the original than I did the remake. And in the whole grand standard of these live action remakes, like I said, the only one I loved that was live action was Detective Pikachu. And that's not even a remake of anything. That's just live action being adapted into a Pokemon. And to close out my video, I just don't understand why, even though technology is in so much a better day and age than it was in the past, I don't see why we always have to get live action remakes time in and time again of these really big properties that we loved as kids if you're from my age group. Look at it. Fans rebelled against a Sonic live action film because of how bad Sonic looks. And guess what? They finally changed it. And that was Paramount. And we don't know if Paramount would have knew if Paramount listened. Now Disney's definitely not going to listen because you want to know why? Disney's all in it for the moolah, the money. They're not going to shut down a movie or property because people do not like it or whatever. How many reviews of how people on YouTube or other people on like Rotten Tomatoes or all these other stuff like Metacritic and all these other review sites. They're not going to care what other people say because they know at the end of the day, if the film's so good looking, it can win an Oscar, which it probably will. People have been saying that, and they know they're just going to make money off it because of the kid demographic. Kids ain't going to care about all this. They're just going to go to the film to see the lions and all the other animals. But people in my age group who were connected to these films on an emotional level, on a nostalgia-based level, it doesn't do a really good job. And I hate to say it. I love The Lion King. I really do. But this live-action adaptation holds nothing to what the original did. It's still, like I said, it's a below-average good film. It's a good summer flick to go check out one time. Maybe for like a date night or something for nostalgia purposes because you want to take your girlfriend to see The Lion King or your brothers or sisters or family members to see it. Yeah. That's fine. But, like I said, this is probably not a film that people who associate themselves with The Lion King would say, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the movies again. I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go see Lion King again. Instead of seeing other movies, maybe twice or maybe for the first time and check out other films that might be good. Like, say for example, a really good movie that's out right now is Spider-Man: Far From Home. It's a good movie. I have yet to see it a second time. I don't know if I ever will see it a second time. I don't have the money to see it another time. I would love to, but that's a movie that's worth seeing 2 to 3 times. I don't see Lion King 2019 as a movie that you can want to see 2 or 3, maybe even 4 more times. Maybe you might see it a second time, but after that, you might as well just get burned out. Might as well just leave the theater and see another film. Now, I know the movie's gonna obviously make a lot of money because of the nostalgia reasons, and it's rightfully gonna make the money it's gonna make. I just don't think this movie was worth it to see in theaters, and you're literally gonna save your money just, like I said, if you have the original Lion King, plopping in the original Lion King in either a PS4, Xbox One, or your DVD player, or whatever you have now, that you're able to stream it Lion King off of. You're better off doing that than just sitting on your bed, heating up a bag of popcorn and watching it from there on. You're really not missing nothing. Everything's legit, word for word, almost scene for scene out of the original. So that's really my thoughts of The Lion King 2019, and my thoughts in general of the whole Disney live action remakes. And sadly, they're just not going to stop making them. They're sadly not going to stop because you want to know why? They're going to make so much money that Disney's going to think, oh, they want more. When sadly, some people are not saying, when there's a little group of people saying, we really don't need these live action remakes. Just leave the animated alone. Because in all honesty, when we have bad remakes of live action things that we loved, it downgrades what the original did. And you're just making it worse. You're just making it worse. I won't be shocked in 2 to 3 years we get a Finding Nemo live action remake. Now, if that happens, I'll be damned if I see that. I'll be damned, because I'm like, okay, you got the freaking lions. How are you gonna make fish talk underwater and show any expression? Watch. I'm not calling it now. I'm not calling. I'm just calling it soon. Someday, they're gonna see it and they're gonna take it. They're gonna be like, you know what? Let's do a live action Finding Nemo movie. Let's do it. We did Lion King. Let's try Finding Nemo. They're gonna do it. I don't know when. They will. The idea will come across, and that will happen. And there'll be a green light for a live action Finding Nemo. And I'm gonna be on my couch looking like they really are making a live action Disney remake of Finding Nemo. Anyways, that's my thoughts of The Lion King 2019. If you want to see it, go ahead and see it. You want to see it for nostalgia purposes, that's fine. Like I said, you might as well just stay at home, save your money, watch the original from home. This has been Camfrey15. I don't know what the next movie I'll be reviewing, but the next movie that looks like on the horizon is probably going to be Dora the Explorer. The Kingdom of Gold, or whatever it's called. That might be the next review. I don't know if I want to see Hobbs and Shaw. I'm debating if I want to see Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not really too fond of the Fast and Furious, universe and stuff like that. If I were to see that, I might review and be like, you know what, I like some things in the film and stuff like that. But yeah, the next movie I can guarantee you'll get a review out of me is definitely Dora the Explorer, The Lost Kingdom of Gold, or something like that. I will say this: that movie, after seeing the last recent trailer, it looks decent and it looks promising, like it's gonna be a decent enough film. That will be later be told. Who knows? Maybe I might end up liking it. It could be like the Venom syndrome. People thought Venom was gonna be good, but it was actually a decent film. So maybe the same thing can go with Dora. As of other reviews, probably be TV show reviews. Really, the next, either expect a Dragon Ball review and just the original Dragon Ball. I'm not gonna get into Dragon Ball Z/Z Kai because I'm currently watching that right now, and then I'm debating if I should watch Dragon Ball GT, but I can remember so much from GT that I could probably give a review right now if I wanted to. And then I'll also review Super and then, other things that are Dragon Ball related. And then I also finished watching Konosuba, so you might expect a review of that sometime. Expect probably after this review, I might do one of the videos for that and upload that probably tomorrow, and then maybe the other one, whether it's Konosuba or Dragon Ball, Sunday. So expect probably to get 3 videos. Like you can get one tonight, tomorrow, and then Sunday possibly. Well, guys, that's really it because that's schedule, and that's really it from my end. So this has been Camfrey15, and I'm signing out. So everyone have a good night.